Hello, welcome back to Aspire to Soar. My name is Kerry. I am an EFT tapping practitioner, and today we're going to be tapping on overactive bladders. Now, this is something that is very close to my heart. This is something I struggled with for a long time as an overactive bladder. Always needing the toilet, always needing to plan whenever I was going to leave the house if there was going to be a toilet. There was places I couldn't go if there wasn't going to be a toilet there when I got there for me to be able to use. I couldn't go because I knew that I wouldn't be able to cope. And I knew that whatever I was doing when I got there would be ruined because I needed to go to the toilet. And this is how my life was lived. Everything revolved around my bladder and where I could go. So it became, it was like a standing joke with my friends and my family and my husband that we had to check out where Kerry was going to go to the toilet when we got somewhere. Otherwise, we couldn't go. And then one day when I was working through some of my own stuff, I suddenly started thinking about this issue that I've had for such a long time. And I thought, well, maybe if my trapped emotions and anxiety and stress are affecting other parts of my life, could it be that it's affecting my bladder too? So then that set me off on a whole investigation, and the things that came to light were just crazy. So first of all, I delved into my first experience with the toilet as a baby, and one of the things that came to light was that I was actually potty trained at a really young age. My nan really wanted me to be potty trained, and she influenced heavily how I was potty trained. So at age 12 months, just under 12 months, I was expected to be able to go to the toilet, and they taught me in some very strange ways about how to go to the toilet. And when you're only 12 months old, you don't have the comprehension to be able to comprehend what's happening. So I learned a lot of fear and a lot of anxiety from that my body held on to for a long time, until I finally recognized that I was holding on to these issues. And then I moved into my childhood, and I can see how it all got compounded, because when I was at school, there was a time when for one reason or another, I didn't have any friends. The people who were my friends weren't my friends anymore, and I was alone. And this was in high school, and I didn't want to be around people at the times when you're supposed to socialize, because I didn't have any friends and I didn't have anyone to hang out with. So I bet you can't guess where I went: the bathroom. And that became my place of safety and my place of security. And every break I would go in there and I would lock that door in that cubicle, and then nobody could see me sitting there friendless and alone in this bathroom. And then it even got to the point where I would eat my lunch in the toilet cubicle, just so that other people wouldn't be able to see me and judge me and feel sorry for me because I didn't have any friends. So that went on for a long time. So when I was thinking about it, I was thinking, wow, that is a lot. I mean, the lessons that my subconscious learned from that about how I needed to seek a bathroom out as a place of safety was absolutely huge. And I had to do a lot of work through those issues to release them from my body. And one of the ways that I found was a good way to think about my bladder is that your bladder is a container. It's a vessel. It contains your urine. But as well as containing your urine, it's also got available space to contain lots of other things that you don't think about energetically. So negative beliefs about yourself, trapped emotions, things like that. It's got space, so they can be stored in there too in an energetic way. But as far as your brain is concerned, when your bladder feels full, whether that is with urine or you've got all your other stuff in there, and then you've got a little bit of urine that goes in on top, it feels full and it feels full and it needs releasing. So then the signal's sent for it to be released. And I found this a really helpful way to understand and think about everything that my bladder might be holding on to. And that was a good reason why I couldn't hold my bladder when I went anywhere and had to always empty it constantly, as well as all of the other associations that I had. So what we're going to do today is we're going to tap around the frustration and the anxiety that we feel and the embarrassment we feel towards our bladders. With one tapping session, we can fix and cure an overactive bladder, because as I've just explained to you, there can be so much trapped there and causing all of the issues. So that's going to be something for you to work through. What I would suggest is, if you're going to tap along with this video, is that you grab a pen and paper now. And once you've got the pen and paper, while we're tapping, you write down anything that comes to mind, because what often happens is our subconscious will throw memories relating to what we're tapping about up for us to see while we're tapping. So I would write those down and then tap through them as separate issues and release any of the emotions that are attached to them. If you're really, really struggling and you can't understand what's causing your issue, then by all means contact someone who can help you unravel these emotions, whether that's an EFT practitioner or another type of therapist that you would use in that situation. Do that and try and unravel anything that could be holding your bladder back or weighing it down. That's really important. Now, we're at the assumption of that you've already investigated that this isn't a medical issue and that you're trying to look for answers outside of that. If you're on my video right now, I would imagine you've already investigated everything medical that it could be. But if you haven't, then please do double check to make sure that you're not overlooking something. And while we're tapping together, you will take full responsibility for your own body and your own safety. Okay, so let's get started. If you haven't tapped with me before, all you need to do is do what I do, tap where I tap, and repeat back after me everything that I say. Now, I am going to tap on what I've brought up to do with my bladder and the way I felt about it when I was stressed and anxious. And then we're going to put a positive affirmation spin on that as well. But if anything I say doesn't resonate with you, then throw in something of your own. Just change the words as we go along to something that feels right for you. And before we start, I'd just like you to rate how you feel about your bladder right now on a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being the worst it could possibly be and 10 being the best it could possibly be. Where do you fall on that scale? Because what I want you to do is to keep an eye on where your scale moves to once you finish tapping, and then you can figure out if it's having any effect or if you need to make some adjustments to whatever we're saying as we're tapping. So make sure you do that, write down your number at the start, and then we'll make a start. So take a nice deep breath in and blow it away. Okay, so we're going to start on the side of our hand here. It's known as a karate chop point. And we're going to tap with the fingers of the other hand, and then you just repeat after me as we go. And we're going to deal with all of the negative first. Okay. Even though I have an overactive bladder and it causes me anxiety and stress whenever I have to leave the house and go anywhere, I always have to know if there will be a bathroom. I still, completely and deeply, love and accept myself anyway. Even though this bladder of mine, it's really embarrassing. It just can't hold my urine. And it can feel really frustrating. I have got no control over when I use the bathroom. But I still, completely and deeply, love and accept myself anyway. Even though, whenever I leave the house, I always have to plan ahead. If I don't know there's going to be a bathroom, I feel fear genuine fear and anxiety. What will I do? How will I cope? And sometimes I don't even go because I already know that it would be a bad experience for me when I can't use the bathroom. But I still, completely and deeply, love and accept myself anyway. Okay, we're going to move to the top of our head. My bladder. And then side of your eyebrow. This overactive bladder of mine. Side of your eye. It's embarrassing. Under your eye. It causes anxiety. Under your nose. I just can't hold my urine. Onto your chin. I'm always planning life around my bladder. Just under your collarbone. Stressful. Makes me anxious. Under your arm. This overactive bladder. On top of your head. The fear that I feel when there's no bathroom. My body feels out of control. Side of your eye. There are some places I just don't go because there's no bathroom. I can feel real frustration at my body and at my bladder. This bladder doesn't work properly. I want a new one. My overactive bladder. All of the anxiety and the stress that it causes me. Under your arm. This overactive bladder. Okay, so what I want you to do is take a nice deep breath in and then just blow all of that negativity away. So breathe in and then blow it all away. Okay, so I want you to just assess how you feel now. And what we're going to do is we're going to move on to some other statements that are going to change the way we feel a little bit. But if you still feel like there is negativity to remove, then please do go back and just do that section again before you move on to anything that's a bit more positive. We're going to start back on the top of our heads. And we're going to say, maybe I could choose to know that I've given my bladder a lot to hold. I could choose to know that my bladder is a container. Side of your eye. I can choose to know that containers can only hold so much. They've got limits. Under your eye. I can choose to recognize that my bladder is not against me. Under your nose. I can choose to listen to my bladder. Under your chin. I can feel that I'm able to forgive my bladder. I feel like I'm ready to release the blame towards my bladder. And maybe I can even choose to start to love my bladder just a little bit for now. And we'll go back to the top of our heads and we're going to say, my body only wants the best for me. I listen to my body and its wisdom. My body is speaking to me through my bladder, and I am ready to listen. I am releasing and setting free any anxiety that I feel towards my bladder. I am ready to start a conversation with my bladder. I am releasing emotional space in my bladder. I am working on loving my bladder. And I am listening and working towards releasing the pressure from my bladder. Top of your head. I am ready to create space. Okay, now we just take a nice deep breath in again and let it go. Okay, so how do you feel after doing that? Where are you on the scale now? Has it moved? Do you feel less stress and anxiety towards your bladder, or does it feel worse? If it feels worse, then you need to go back and look at the negativity again. But yeah, it'd be great to hear how you're feeling after that tapping session. Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.